If I asked you to think of some of the most outstanding game visuals from the last few years, it would be pretty easy to guess what you might picture. That's right, you know what I'm talking about. Crisp, high-definition graphics, oozing with intricate textures and environments so detailed you might mistake them for a movie. It's real, it's gritty, and after a while, it all kind of starts to look the same, doesn't it? Now, don't get me wrong, I love being able to recognize Ellen Page in my games as much as the next person. But if the only way for us to consider a game as looking better than its competitors is for it to look more realistic, then won't we reach a stage where every AAA game is nearly indistinguishable from the others? And as graphical improvements become harder and harder for the human eye to notice, won't each generation of games become less and less visually exciting? It's these concerns that have led me to wonder whether we should really be pursuing this notion of perfect realism as our idea of better gaming. In fact, I think it's fair to argue that some games can even be improved by appearing less realistic. For example, let's take a look at the 2006 game Okami. Set in classical Japan and based on Japanese mythology, the traditional ink wash painting style of Okami's art direction is not only beautiful and unique, but it actually enhances the theme of the game. Everything from its mechanics to its lore matches seamlessly with its aesthetic. If Okami had been made in the same style as Twilight Princess, which was released in the same year, would it have been as effective? Would we even still be talking about Okami today, had it not been so on point in every level of its design? Heavily stylized games are also more immune to becoming outdated when compared to their more realistic counterparts. Just think back to The Wind Waker. This game is 14 years old, and all it took was a higher resolution and some lighting tweaks to bring it into the next decade with The Wind Waker HD. And it still looks fresh and inviting, thanks to a unique yet simple style. An outstanding style can elevate a game with limited mechanics, making it interesting and engaging despite a lack of in-depth gameplay. Styles that emulate real life but do not attempt true realism can play with colors and composition in ways that make our world look dull in comparison. The right artistic twist can make a game more comedic, more endearing. So if stunningly realistic graphics don't necessarily make a game better, then what does? When the visuals, mechanics, sounds, and plot all come together to form a cohesive product, that's a good game. The most memorable concepts I can think of, both old and new, are not memorable because they'll melt my graphics card, but because they are bold and original. There's a time and place for realism and for more creative styles, and both can form a special experience. But before you dismiss a game for not looking like the typical AAA title, you might be surprised at what you'll find if you take a closer look.